For today, you might want to have blocks because we're going to do some stuff where we're kind of stepping through, like pistol squatty kind of stuff. All right. Okay, so let's just get started straight up. Let's get into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, plant your hands, move around, brush the dirt off your mat. And just start to settle in. Allow the fact that your head is below your heart and the crown of your head is facing the floor. That kind of lends itself to the imagery of allowing everything that is not you and your yoga practice to just drop out of your head and send it into the earth, where it can become the seeds of some beautiful things to come, rather than sticking to you. Take some deep breaths. Try to really start to push through the feet, push through the hands, lift through the hips, and breathe all the way down to your pelvic floor. And then slowly walk your hands back to your feet and hang in Utkatasana for a bit. And you can take your feet as narrow or as wide as you like. If you have a low back that likes to stiffen up on you first thing in the day, then perhaps you just kind of move with it a little bit, bending your knees, trying to really get some length out of the low back. And again, breathing deeply all the way down to your pelvic floor. And then do take your feet wider than hips, heels slightly in, toes slightly out. And on your inhales, drop your butt towards your heels, towards Balasana. And on your exhales, drive into your heels and straighten your legs. And go through that a few times on your own pace. You can move as fast or as slow as you like. Requirement is that you breathe deeply as you move. And start to tune in with how your body is feeling today. Next time you're in the Balasana, pause. Work your triceps inside your knees. Bring your hands to prayer. Pull thumbs to sternum, and then pull your sternum towards your thumbs, getting really proud through the chest. Maybe wagging your head side to side just a bit to get some looseness through the neck. And breathe here. And one of the ways that I find helps me deepen my Balasana, particularly when I am feeling stiff, is to think of pulling heels to butt, to try to pull yourself deeper into the squat using your hamstrings. It's kind of a mildly overlooked piece of this pose. All right, and then bring your right arm out in front of your right shin. And you have some options here. You can either push your left knee away from you and just kind of wiggle around with that a little bit, trying to open your chest to the left. Or you can bring your left arm overhead, which may help you feel a little more length from your tailbone out through the fingertips. Or you can open straight out to the left and make it more of a twist. So choose what feels good for you right now. Where can you find a nice deep breath all the way down into the pelvic floor? And then switch sides. Bring your left arm in front of your left shin. And again, you can either just push the right knee out to the right. That might feel good on your hips. Or reach your arm overhead for length. Or open up for the twist. And then come back through center. Take one more breath, pulling thumbs to sternum, sternum to thumbs. And then drive into your heels. Try to keep your belly connected to your upper thighs as you straighten your legs into the forward fold. So really trying to deepen, sorry for all the throat clearing, try to deepen the crease at your hips, maybe binding onto the legs to maintain that contact. And then how straight can you straighten the legs? Tip some weight into the balls of your feet and feel your legs turn on because, you know, somersault is not in your life right now. So As you tip the weight forward, your legs do the work of keeping you upright. Breathe. And then crawl your way back out to downward facing dog. Get length, push the floor away, squeeze the muscles of your legs, drive your heels into the floor, and also as if you could kick them back, feel the hamstrings turn on. And then bend your knees, set your knees down wide on the mat, bring your toes to touch behind you, and sit back for Balasana, child's pose. And with your forehead on the earth, check back in with how you're feeling today. Deepening your breath. And then wherever you are in your breath cycle, exhale fully. And then we'll inhale for 6. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause at the top. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Filling your entire rib cage, feeling the belly push into the thighs as you pause and hold the breath in. And then exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom. Feel the belly pull away from the thighs mildly. Feel the pelvic floor lift as you hold the breath out. And then inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause at the top. And exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom. Take one more on your own count. And then gradually lift your head from the floor, come up to all fours. So let's warm up the wrists. Yes, pat up your knees if you need. Turn your fingertips out to the side and just move side to side. And for today, a lot of times I instruct you to grip the floor such that the second knuckle of your fingers lifts away from the floor slightly. Today, I want you to see what would it feel like to press that second knuckle flat to the floor as you're warming up your wrists. You may feel more of a stretch up through across the elbow. You might feel more of a stretch across the wrists, but just, check it out. See what you feel about that. If you hate it, then go back to the way you usually do it. And then turn your fingertips back towards your knees and lean back a few times. Again, what would it take to press that second knuckle flat to the floor? Really engaging there. We often think about the fingertips, but we don't often ask ourselves to keep those fingers completely flat. Okay, good. And then bring your hands into fists. Wrap your thumbs around your fingers to trap your fingers into fists, and then bring the knuckles together. And you're gonna place the back of the hands on the floor. Now try not to let the fingers escape, and slowly straighten your elbows. And you can either hold this, or you can go bend and straighten a few times, but see how straight can you get your elbows to go without letting those fingers release. This is really, really a nice stretch across the back of the wrists. We do a lot of wrist extension, especially if we're handstanders. So this stretch is a really important counter pose. Okay, and then if you're moving, hold still. Press your knuckles into each other and press the back of your hands into the floor. So you're turning on the muscles at their longest range, and hold that. Breathe into whatever sensations you find. Good, and then release that. Tuck your toes. under. So I like to come up onto the balls of my feet, spread my toes out wide, and then set them down and bring the knees back to the floor. That I find allows me to pull the pinky toes underneath more effectively. If they escaped, just reach down and make sure they're part of the party. And then push your heels towards each other and trap them there with your butt. So you want your feet to be vertical to the floor, if possible. And breathe into all the wonderful sensations across your feet. Bring your arms out in front of you. Externally rotate from the shoulders, so palms face the ceiling. And then bring your arms overhead only as far as you can while maintaining straight arms and without flaring the chest forward. So hug the front ribs in, bring your arms overhead, and begin to flick your fingers. So as if you had something super sticky stuck to your fingernails and you're trying to flick it off, you know, like rubber cement or something, bubble gum, something like that. I've got a timer going. So while you're, you know, kind of lamenting the warmth perhaps that's growing in your forearms, maybe you're celebrating it, try to drive the big toe knuckle into the floor of your feet. So really focus on that pressure point. It might be intense. If it's too intense, back off a little bit, but focus a little bit more on that rather than allowing the weight to roll to the pinky toe side of your foot. You're good. You got like 10 more seconds. Reach for the ceiling, hug your front ribs in, keep flicking, flick, 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 flick. Here we go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Shake that out. Shake out your feet. Alrighty, and then we're gonna get into an ankle dorsiflexion stretch. So you can kind of come to this, I've heard this called combat stance, you know, like you're like ready, like G.I. Jane, right? But plant your right foot on the floor and you're gonna lean your weight over your right toes. Try to keep your knee tracking over your second toe. And I want you to lean the weight just so that the heel hovers ever so slightly, but you're trying to keep the heel down. And then drive the heel down into the floor. We'll take a few breaths in the stretch. And then drive the ball of your foot into the floor as if you could hop off the floor. But don't let the heel lift. So you should feel perhaps some stuff around the Achilles tendon turn on, maybe in the calf muscle, you feel some of that turn on. And then pull the top of your foot to the front of your shin as if you could pull the ball of the foot away from the floor. It won't happen. It's just an as if, but feel those muscles really turning on at the front of the shin. And then drive the ball of your foot into the floor one more time. Feel the back of the shin turn on, back of the calf muscle turn on. And then pull the top of the foot to the front of the shin one more time. And then maybe or maybe not, maybe you got some extra range out of that. So just take a few breaths in the new range, trying to keep your heel down and leaning as far out over those toes as you can. Okay, and then release that. We'll do second side. So planting your left foot on the floor and leaning your weight out over your toes, using your body to add some load to this stretch. Okay, and so go as far forward as you can, and then the heel will lift just a little, and then drive that heel into the floor. Really get into your maximum range and take a few breaths there. And then drive the ball of your foot into the floor. So feel the calf muscle turn on. It's as if you were going to come up onto your toes, but nothing's moving, isometric. And then pull the top of your foot to the front of your shin. Feel those muscles at the front of the shin turn on. Maybe some warmth is starting to gather there. And then drive the ball of your foot into the floor. And then pull the top of the foot to the front of the shin. And then release the isometric, and maybe you've got some more range. Just take some breaths in your newfound ankle dorsiflexion. So ankle dorsiflexion is really helpful for squatting, right? Because it means that more of your weight can stay over your heels and you don't fall backwards, right? So if you have that feeling of like falling backwards in a squat, it has to do with other things like bone lengths and body proportions and whatnot. But it also has a lot to do with that ankle dorsiflexion. So just taking a few minutes to work on that can really pay off. All right, now come back to downward facing dog. And perhaps notice a new groundedness through your feet in downward facing dog. Perhaps you can get your heels more towards the floor. Or if your heels were already at the floor, maybe you can get more of a sense of pulling the top of the feet to the front of the shins even here. Almost lifting the balls of your feet off the floor. And then roll your way forward to plank pose. And then come to side plank. And we're gonna move through a little side plank series. So come to side plank on your right hand. And then push through your right hand, bend your knees and send your butt back towards your heels. Stay with your butt back towards your heels. Try to stay just on your right hand, turn to face the floor with your body. So you're changing the orientation of that shoulder. Come back to the side and then push back to side plank. Come through center. You can, if you wanna really layer it on, you can add a chaturanga in the middle. I'm not gonna do that because there's plenty of work to be had coming up. All right, so side plank on the left hand, butt back, turn to face the floor, keep pushing through the left hand, butt back to side plank, regular side plank through center. We're gonna go side to side 10 times. Side plank right, butt back, turn to the floor, butt back, side plank, left hand, butt back, turn to the floor, side plank, butt back, side plank, right hand. You get the idea. So this is 3. We're gonna do 10 on each side. Ha. And notice what you notice as you move. What do you notice through the shoulder? What do you notice through the hips? How do your feet want to move? Right? We're warming up that squat in a little bit of a different way. And also your lovely shoulders. I think this is 7, depending on how fast you're moving. So if you don't get all the way to 10, know that time under tension is also a nice thing to achieve. So you don't have to do exactly 10. You'll have been doing it for long enough by the time I get to 10. And as always, if you need to stop or rest, do. Here's 9. And here is 10. Really pushing through the hand. Stay well centrated through the shoulder. And then come to plank pose. Bring your forearms down, forearm plank. You can bring your knees down if you need a little bit of a rest. Otherwise, we're gonna do 10 scapular push-ups here. So draw your shoulder blades together behind you, push them apart. Pull them together, push the floor away. There's 2, 3. Try to keep your shoulders down, away from your ears, and try to feel the effort coming from below and behind your armpits. I think that's 8, 9, 10. Whoo! Set your hips down. Sphinx pose. Take a couple breaths. Pull your forearms towards your hips. Pull your chest forward. Press all 10 toenails into the mat, especially the big toenail. That one wants to get out of the party here. Feel that if you push the big toenail down, you feel the inner thighs turn on just a bit. And then slowly, if you are comfortable with it, push into your hands and start to straighten your arms a bit towards Cobra. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down and sneak your hands back by your rib cage. Lift your palms off the floor. Extend them back, lift the hands away from the floor. Keep the toenails pushing into the mat as you circle the arms forward. And then inhale, bring your arms back by your hips, bend your elbows to the ceiling, sneak your hands by your rib cage, pull yourself up to Cobra again. Exhale, lower down, just enough so you can sneak the hands away from the floor. Extend them back, circle them around, bring them back by your hips, keep pushing your toenails into the mat. Elbows to ceiling, bend your elbows, bring the hands to the mat by your rib cage, pull to Cobra, inhale. Exhale, lower down just enough to lift the hands. Notice I'm not giving you any rest today in between Cobras. You may add rest if you need it. Circle the arms back, bend the elbows, bring them back by the rib cage, pull back up to Cobra one more time. Maybe it's the highest one of the day yet. Exhale, lower down, press your pubic bone into the mat, lift the legs away from the floor, hover the hands. Keep the hands hovering above the floor, squeeze the elbows to the midline, take some breaths here. Breathe your chest forward. Feel your beating heart. Feel how alive you are. And then you're going to inhale, press straight down into the hands, maintain this body shape, come up to upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Take some breaths here. All right, lift your right leg, inhale. Exhale, pull your knee to your chest and then round through your spine to draw your knee to your nose, come forward to plank. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, draw the knee to the belly and curl through your spine to come forward. Inhale. 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, exhale. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, set it down. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, knee to belly, and then curl through the spine to draw the knee towards the nose as you come to plank. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, curl in. Really pushing the floor away, trying to curl that knee in as far as you can towards the nose. Here's 4. And 5. Come back to 3-legged dog. Set your left foot down. Take a breath. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, curl knee in to nose. And step your right foot forward. Come up onto your fingertips, or you may want blocks for this. You're gonna jump switch your feet. Ready? Jump switch. Okay. We're gonna do that 10 times. All right, so here we go. Do it at your own pace. You can also just keep doing knee to nose. You can go faster. Look more like a mountain climber cardio thing. We are gonna be doing a little bit more dynamic movement through the flow. So that's your invitation to find it there. When you've done what you feel like is 10, come back to downward facing dog. Feel your heart beating. Breathe deeply to calm your breath. And then gaze between your fingers. Step, float, or fly to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Drive into your heels, come all the way to standing. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of your heart. Take a moment. Set an intention for yourself today. And let's take 3 Surya A's. You can add handstand if you like or not. This is your invitation to wipe the slate clean. So we begin the flow fresh and shiny. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step, floater, fly to the back of your mat. Up dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Make them really worth it. Breathe all the way down to your pelvic floor. Push the floor away. Drive your heels into the floor or towards the floor. On your next inhale, prepare. Look between your hands. Step, floater, fly. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, drive into your heels. Come all the way up. Exhale, hands to prayer. 2 more. On the end of your 3rd round, we will meet at the front of your mat. Take a moment, take a deep breath. Inhale, come to chair pose. And really sink your butt down. Now, for this first part, if you feel like arms overhead is kind of taking away from the work in the hips, then just bring your arms out in front of you, because I want to work the ankles and the hips a little bit here. You can also bring your hands to your heart or hips. Sink your butt really low so that you feel like your heels almost will lift, okay? Then bring your weight into your right foot. Try to stay as low as you can with your butt. Lift your left foot off the floor. Notice the angle between your left thigh and your belly. Try to keep that and sink lower through the right foot to bring the left foot to the floor. And then try to lift the right knee. Try to maintain that deeper hip flexion on the right and bring your right foot to the floor by bending deeper through the left. This is called, I call this marching Utkatasana. Drive into your right heel, lift your left knee closer, tighter into your body. To bring the left foot to the floor, pull yourself deeper into the squat on the right leg. 1 more each side. Lift, pull, lower. Lift, pull, lower. And then notice how much deeper you are, perhaps. And then extend your arms overhead. Take 3 deep breaths here. Sinking the hips. Get that feeling of pulling heels to butt and pulling tops of feet to front of shins. See if you can sink any deeper. And then slowly straighten through the legs, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step, floater, fly to the back of your mat. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Okay. Now bend your knees and send your butt back towards your heels.
Okay, now we're gonna use this skill in the first flow, so we're gonna break it down first and get kind of used to it. So first we'll just do a stepping version, then we'll do a jumping version if you're up for it. So as you start to bring your hips forward, lift your left hand, step your left foot forward. Press into your right hand and sneak your right leg through to kind of like a pistol-ish squat. Keep your right hand on the floor. Drive into your right hand. Your right hand might have to be on a block for this whole transition. Step your right leg back to kind of like a goddess shape with your legs, so your heels in, toes out. Sink your butt into the squat. Okay, so you're kind of diagonal on your mat, and that's okay. Then drive back into the right hand, come back to the pistol-ish squat, and then send the right leg back, step the left leg back, come back to that kind of squatted down dog. Okay, and try the second side. So come forward, lift the right hand, step the right foot forward. Keep the left hand down, left leg through. Push into the left hand, step back goddess, heels in, toes out, sink the butt. Push into the left hand, come back through for the pistol, and then step the left leg back, step the right leg back, and come back to your squatted down dog. Okay, so that's the stepping version. You can stick with that if that's your comfort zone, totally fine. Otherwise, try bending the knees, get a little momentum, bounce, bounce. Now, as you jump your left foot forward, you're gonna lift your left hand. So start with just that, okay, to this shape, okay, with the right leg lifted. You can try that a couple times. Bounce, bounce, hop, bounce, bounce, hop, send the right leg through. Step back for the squat, right leg through. Maybe you plant the left hand and step back. Maybe you jump back to that down dog. Okay, and then we'll try the second side. So bounce, bounce, hop. Try that a couple times. Bounce, bounce, hop. So as the right foot comes forward, the right hand lifts. Bounce, bounce, hop. Send the left leg through. Step back, sink the butt. Left leg through. Jump back, bounce, bounce. Left leg forward. Through, squat, through, jump back, bounce, bounce. Right leg forward, hop, squat, hop, jump back, bounce, bounce. And so let's try that a few times on each side to kind of just get the coordination going. Continuing on, bounce, bounce. Left leg, maybe you make it more fluid as you bring the right leg through. Maybe you make it a little more floaty as you jump. Do one more each side. Bounce, bounce. Maybe feeling that nice burn through the quads. Feeling your heart beating. Come to down dog. Set your knees down, toes together, child's pose to rest for just a moment. Feel your heart beating. Deepen your breath, slow it down. In your mind's eye, visualize yourself doing that fluidly and perfectly. So come back to downward facing dog. So squat your butt back towards your heels. Get a little, like bounce a little bit, get some momentum. Leap your right foot forward, send your left leg through. Push into your left hand, come to that goddess. Now, come to a side bend to your left. So bring your left shoulder to the inside of your left knee. Keep your legs in goddess and open up for a side bend. And then exhale through center. Bring yourself to that same side bend on the right. Goddess with a side bend. Yes, Jennifer, then step your left leg back. How did you know? Come to side, a Konasana, side angle pose. Take a couple deep breaths here. Breathe, open your chest to the ceiling. And then come up through warrior two. Sink your hips.
First warrior two of the day. Try to even your hip points out with the long edge of your mat and sink the inner left thigh towards the floor. Breathe deeply. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, straighten through the right leg, come to Triconasana. Breathe, open your chest, gaze at the left fingertips. Strong through the legs, drive through both heels, push your hips forward. Gaze at the floor, tip yourself forward, Ardha Chandrasana. Strong and straight through that left leg, energy all the way through the left heel. Spin your chest open, try to stack your shoulders, try to stack your hips. Breathe. And then slowly turn to so you can put a little bend in your right knee. Transition through warrior three, bring your left hand to the floor. Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana. Squeeze the inner thighs, energy still through that left heel. Push your left hand down into the floor and to the left to deepen the twist. All right, now gaze at the floor, put a bend through your right knee, plant your left hand either on the floor or on your block, and you're gonna come through that pistol-ish squat. So left leg comes through, and then look, we're right where we ended that little drill. So you're gonna plant both hands and jump back to a squatted downward facing dog at the back of your mat. Or step, stepping is acceptable. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, bend your knees. Gaze out past your left hand. You're gonna leap, right leg comes through. Step back with the right foot, goddess. Open up, side bend right. Inhale deeply. Exhale, side bend left. Maybe you wanna rearrange your feet on the mat. Step your right foot back, Parsvakonasana, open your chest. Take a few breaths here. Push your hips forward, pulling your left knee away from your left arm. And then come up to warrior two. Sink your hips, sink especially your right inner thigh. Gaze over your left hand. Strong through your right heel particularly. Feel your left heel on the floor as well. Feel the engagement up through the left hip there. Flip your left palm, inhale, reverse. As you exhale, straighten through the left leg, come to Triconasana. Drive through both heels, push your hips forward. Try to stack your shoulders, gaze at your right fingertips if you can. Gaze forward of your left toes, bend your left knee, come to Ardha Chandrasana. Try to stack your shoulders. Try to stack your hips. Strong through that right heel. And then slowly put a little bend in your left knee as you transition through warrior three. Bring your right hand to the floor. Squeeze your inner thighs. Active through the right ankle. Twist. Push down into your right hand and push that hand to the right to deepen the twist. Feel the back of the right shoulder helping you out here. Squeeze the inner thighs, straighten that right leg. Okay, plant your right hand either on the floor or the blocks. Bend your left knee, sneak your right leg through for that pistol-ish squat. Yes. Look at the floor, plant your left hand, and try to leap back to that squatted down dog. Straighten your legs on the inhale for a regular down dog. And we're gonna flow that a few times. So bend your knees, I'll talk you through it. Leap forward, right foot forward, right hand lifts. Pistol. Step back, goddess. Side bend left, inhale. Exhale through center, maybe recenter yourself on your mat. Come to side bend to the right. Step your left leg back, Parsvakonasana. Exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, pull yourself up to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle pose. Gaze down, Ardha Chandrasana. Inhale. Exhale to deepen the pose. Inhale, bend the right knee. twisted Ardha Chandrasana. Squeeze the inner thighs. Exhale. Plant your left hand, sneak your left leg through, pistol-ish, and then leap back on your exhale. Straighten your legs for the inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Bounce. Leap left leg forward, right leg through. Step back, goddess. Side bend right, inhale. Exhale through center, sneak your feet onto your mat. Side bend left. Step your right foot back. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, drive yourself to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Gaze down. Ardha Chandrasana, inhale. Exhale to deepen. Inhale, bend the left knee. Right hand comes to the floor. Squeeze the inner thighs. Parivrita. Inhale. Plant your right hand. Sneak your right leg through. Pistol. Plant both hands. Jump back. Straighten the legs. Inhale. Let's jump forward to get a little bit of a traditional vinyasa in there-ish. Look between your hands, bend your knees, do a frog jump or step forward. So bend your knees, come up to like a frog handstand. Give yourself a couple. And then slowly lower feet to front of mat. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, driving your heels to stand. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step, floater, fly to the back of your mat. Once you're there, we start again. Bend your knees, butt back. Leap your right foot forward. Left leg through. Left leg back. Side bend left, inhale. Exhale, side bend right. Inhale. Center your feet, step your left foot back, Triconasana. Deep inhale. Exhale brings you to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Gaze forward, tip forward. Ardha Chandrasana. Exhale, transition. Inhale, Parivrita. Exhale, plant your left hand. Sneak your left leg through. Pistol. Exhale, jump back. Straighten your legs, inhale. Exhale, bend. Left leg forward. Step back. Side bend right, inhale. Exhale through center. Inhale left. Step right foot back. Exhale, come to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Gaze forward. Inhale. Exhale, transition. Inhale, Parivrita. Exhale, plant the right hand, sneak the right leg through, and step or jump back. Straighten your legs and breathe. Gaze between your hands. Step or 3 frog hops forward. So just like goddess pose in the air, engage the feet, pull the hips out to the side, and see if that engagement of the legs can help you feel a little floatier here. Really like leap off the feet. And we'll meet at the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, drive into the heels, come to standing. One more. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step, float or fly to the back of your mat. Up dog, down dog. And bend your knees, squat, squat. Right leg forward, pistol. Step back, goddess. Inhale, side bend left. Exhale through center. Inhale, side bend right. Step your left leg back, maybe recenter yourself. Inhale, come up through warrior one to reverse. Exhale, triangle pose. Gaze forward, tip forward, Ardha Chandrasana. Inhale. Exhale through center. Inhale, Parivrita. Exhale, plant your left hand. Sneak your left leg through, pistol. And jump back. Squat. Squat, left leg forward. Squat. Side bend right, inhale. Exhale through center. Maybe recenter yourself on your mat. Inhale, side bend left. Sneak your right foot back, Parsvakonasana. Exhale to come up, Vira 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, Triconasana. Look down, tip forward, Ardha Chandrasana. Exhale through the transition. Plant your right hand, Parivrita. Inhale. Plant your right hand, sneak your right leg through, and jump back. Straighten your legs in the down dog, take a breath. Exhale fully. Gaze between your hands. Step, float, or frog hops to the front of your mat. Maybe if you catch balance, stay. Sometimes that's fun. Meet at the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, drive in your heels, come standing. All right, step wide. Anybody else sweating? There's something about jumping. Jumping will do it for you. Those explosive movements, we don't do those a lot, right? So it's good to mix it up, but it's important to vary your movement diet just like it is to vary your regular diet. So turn your heels in, toes out. Come to goddess. Okay, we're gonna do a little exploration here. So try to keep your heels down. Bring yourself to Skandasana to your left. So try to keep your left heel down. You can come as low or as not low as you need. You can do whatever you like with your hands. This is all about the hips and the squat. And then try to stay low through the center, like a spider crawling across the floor, and come to the other side. And notice there's a difference in your two ankles most likely. So if you have one ankle that doesn't want to dorsiflex as much, the heel might want to lift, but try to keep it down at least for these first few. Skate across the middle. Come left. Skate across middle. Come right, keeping the heels down. Go back and forth and just feel what that feels like to have the heels down. Okay, now for this next round, coming to the left, let your left heel lift. Come up onto the ball of the foot. And then do the same on the other side, so trying to stay low. So if you're way up high with the heels down, lifting the heel may allow you to get lower in the hips. If you were already pretty low, you might notice you feel the one on the ball of your foot, you feel that more in the knee rather than the joint, than the hip. Yeah? Okay, now, straighten both legs, just take a little Prasarita Padottanasana for a moment, just kind of release that work. Our next little exploration is going to be, I'm going to call it a squat crawl. So now you've practiced keeping the heel down and lifting the heel. So you have options, right? They're both options. Neither one is right or wrong. They're just options, right? So now we're going to take it off the mat. Whoa, what? So rather than moving side to side, something we very typically do in yoga, we're going to change it up. And I want you to go in any direction you can imagine. The only goal is to stay really low to the floor. Keep your butt low to the floor. So you can keep the heel planted or not, but lean out over maybe your right leg and bring your left leg to something other than Skandasana, maybe forward, okay? And then lean the weight into the left leg. And maybe you turn, bring the weight into the left leg. Maybe you step back, stay low, maybe through a goddess, okay? Maybe you see what would happen if you crossed the knees and then came through, all right? So options, it's kind of a squat crawl. What would it take? What do you like? What's challenging? What are you good at? What do you suck at? Which foot likes it better when the heel is planted? Which foot wants the heel to lift? Okay, so any direction, try to be creative. It's gonna be tempting to stay on your mat and do like kind of the normal yoga things, right? But try not to. I'm stuck in a corner. If you get stuck in a corner, try to be creative with how you get out of it. All right, only goal, stay low to the floor and feel the burn in your quads. Maybe you just go for a walk, right? Really low to the floor. Try not to have your hands on the floor, but if this is super foreign and you don't feel safe, then have blocks in your hands so that you can explore with confidence, okay? But try to make most of the work come from the hips. All right, and then gradually make your way back to the front of your mat. All right. And come to downward facing dog. Breathe that out. If that was super challenging or triggering or frustrating, maybe come to a child's pose and bring your forehead to the floor and just dump out any residual considerations and just know that whatever your body needed to take from that, it did. And everything else, just let it go. And then if you're in child's pose, join us in downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift your right leg, open your right hip, and just start to allow your right leg to get heavier, heavier. Try to keep your right hand on the floor as long as possible to really work that twist. And eventually, your right foot finds the floor. And then set your butt down so that your legs are in a 90-90. So each leg is in 90 degrees, like this, except you're facing the back of your mat, yeah. And then twist towards your right foot. So this is the kind of awkward twist. See if you can keep pulling your outer left knee towards the floor. Try to sit up tall and take a couple of breaths in this little twist. Keep pulling the outer right knee towards the floor. Try to sit up tall. Good, and then spin back, plant your hands, press into the outer edge of your left foot. Bring your right leg through and under for fallen triangle. Press into the outer edge of your right foot, lift your hips. Take a nice deep inhale. And we're gonna move back and forth between those two a few times. So plant your left hand, spin your right hip open, plant your right foot, set your butt down 90-90, sit up tall, twist right. Exhale. Inhale through center, plant your hands, lift your right leg through and under, fallen triangle, option to hover the leg. Inhale, flip dog. Set your butt down, 90-90, twist right. Inhale. Come through and under, fallen triangle. Lift your hips, option to hover that leg. Inhale, three-legged dog. Gaze at the front of your mat. And you're going to step or scissor switch your right foot to the front of the mat. Step back, set your left knee on the floor. Pull your right heel towards your left knee, come up for the kneeling lunge. So keep that activation in the legs by pulling the right heel towards the left knee and the left knee towards the right heel. Square your hips. Inhale, tip your heart towards the sky. Breathe into that back bend. And then gather your hands together behind you. Clasp. Send your fists towards the floor and try to lift your hands away from your low back. Then if it's comfortable on your left knee, bend your left knee and bring your left heel towards the butt. Keep sinking the hips. Breathe. And then release that. Tuck your back toes. Send your torso long over your right thigh. Hands back by your hips. Inhale here. Exhale and twist. So bring your left elbow outside your right knee. Hands to prayer. Pull thumbs to sternum, sternums to thumbs. Sternum, you only have one sternum. Maybe. Breathe deeply. And then spin your arms up and open to warrior two. Okay, we're gonna flow that twist to warrior, actually to reverse. So inhale to reverse. And then as you exhale, cartwheel your arms around, lift your left heel, come back to the twist. Maybe you just touch the elbow to the knee. You don't have to bind, or you don't have to put the hands together. And then inhale, come back to reverse. Exhale, lift the left heel, come back to the twist. Like you're a discus thrower. And then inhale, come back up to reverse. Exhale, back to the twist. This time, bring your hands to prayer, thumbs to sternum, sternum to thumbs. Work the twist, deep inhale. As you exhale, tip your weight forward, kick your left heel to the butt. Remove your left elbow from your right knee, bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Option to stay here and just hold this little squat. Option to tap your left knee to the floor. So an easier version would be to set the left toes down and slowly bring the knee to the floor. More challenging is to try to touch the knee before the foot. Okay, do it 3 times if you're doing it. Oh yeah. Last time, bind the outer edge of your left foot with your right hand, come up for the twist. So straighten through the left leg, open yourself up, take some deep breaths here. Squeeze your inner thighs, stand strong through the ball, the big toe mound of the right foot. Good. All right, and then rebend through your left knee, come to warrior 3. Inhale here, and then bend the knee to the belly, come down. You're gonna set the left knee down, and you're gonna sit in half virasana. So if you need your block, bring it to sit on. Otherwise, sit inside the left heel. Inhale, bind the right foot, and lift the right leg for a hamstring stretch. Take a few breaths here. Rebend through the right knee. Set the right foot down. Now here's where that crawling is going to come in handy. Okay, push into the top of your left foot to bring your weight more onto the right foot. The right heel can lift, okay? We just tested that out in all sorts of ways. So you're going to try to sneak your left leg through and around to a pistol squat. Try not to touch the floor with your hands. Maybe the right heel is slightly lifted. Maybe you bind onto the left foot for balance. Breathe. And then plant your fingertips, drive into your right foot, come to standing splits. Ah, familiarity. Pull yourself in for the stretch. Lift from the left glute and the left hamstring. Lift that left leg high. And then Vinyasa. So option to press, option to step, okay? But maybe part of this like pistol squat shape is also like a jackknife handstand. So this might help you actually stabilize your handstand. So lean your weight into your hands and you're gonna kick your right heel to your butt as you come up. And that activation of pulling right thigh to belly and right heel to butt, it might help you find balance. And then you'll move, try it a few times.
Yeah.
Yes, that's really great. I love to see that. All right, move through your Vinyasa, meet and down dog. All right, second side, lift your left leg, inhale, open your left hip. Really, really open through the hip there, and reluctantly. So keep your left hand planted. Your left foot just gets heavier and heavier and heavier. Work that twist. Eventually setting left foot down. Open up for flip dog. And then you're gonna set your hips down, legs in 90-90. And sit up, nice and tall. Twist to your left. Take a couple breaths in the first one, pulling your right outer knee towards the floor and twisting. I think I was saying pull your right outer knee to the floor on the last one, and it was your left knee. So I apologize, I had my left and right mixed up. So sit nice and tall, trying to sink the inner left thigh towards the floor, outer right knee towards the floor. All right, turn to the right, plant your hands, push into the outer edge of your right foot, swivel yourself under for fallen triangle. Option to plant that left foot and really lift the hips high, that should feel good. Or option to hover that left leg. All right, and we'll move that through that a couple times. So inhale, open your hips, flip your dog, set the hips down, sit up tall and twist left. Swivel back around, lift your leg, swivel it through, fallen triangle, active or not. Plant your right hand, flip, set the butt down, twist. Come back through, fallen triangle. And then lift your left leg, three-legged dog. Step your left foot forward or scissor switch your left foot to the front of the mat. Set the right knee down. Pull the left heel to the right knee. Inhale, come up. Take a few breaths here. Sinking the hips. And then start to work the back bend into it. As if someone had their hand beneath your heart and was lifting your heart to the sky. Inhale deeply. And then clasp your hands behind you. Maybe the opposite thumb on top. Pull your hands towards the floor and then lift your hands away from your sacrum. And then, if it feels okay on your right knee, bend to the right knee, right heel to butt. Keep the hips sinking. Keep pulling back. Don't bind yet, you'll get another chance. And then release. Tuck your back toes, send your torso over your right thigh. Bring your right elbow outside your left knee, hands to prayer. Pull thumbs to sternum, sternum to thumbs. Take some deep breaths here, trying to straighten through the right leg. Okay, and then you're going to windmill your arms up and over. Reposition your feet. Warrior two, sink your hips. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel your arms around, come up onto the ball of the right foot, and maybe you just tap your elbow outside your left knee. And then up and over, reverse. And exhale, twist. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, twist and hold. So hands come back to prayer. Okay. Gaze at the floor. Bring the weight into the left foot. Bend your right knee. Kick the heel to the butt. Unhook your right elbow. Hands to prayer in front of your heart. You can stay here, trying to sink into the squat deeper in the left leg. Or set your toes down and slowly lower the knee 3 times, or try to tap the knee before the toes touch down. 1, woo, 2, and 3. Last time, bind the outer edge of the right foot with your left hand. Come up for the twist. Kick that right leg straight if you can, as straight as you can, and twist open. Maybe turning your gaze, trying to deepen and calm your breath. Okay, and then release the right foot. Come through warrior 3. Take an inhale there. Rebend the right knee. Bring the right thigh into the belly. Slowly bend through the left knee. You're going to set the right shin on the floor and sit inside the right shin. Half Virasana. Grab your block if you need it. And then bind onto the left foot. And this is the nice part of the flow where you just get to stretch and breathe. So try to pull that left leg towards you. Send your chest towards your toes. Gaze at the ceiling. Squeeze your inner thighs together. So try not to let your right knee splay out to the side. And then rebend through the left knee. Push into the top of the right foot and try to use that action to bring yourself up on top of your left foot. Okay. Left heel may lift. Lean out over your left knee. Lift your right shin off the floor and try to bring your right leg around to a pistol squat. Maybe you bind the foot. Maybe the heel can plant. Maybe you find balance for a moment. Maybe you're much higher up. That's fine too. Breathe. And then plant your hands. Drive into your left foot. Come to standing splits. Breathe deeply, maybe bind your left calf and pull yourself in for the stretch, but lift the right leg from the glute, from the hamstring, lift that leg. And then option to press, step, or jackknife kick yourself to a handstand and move through your vinyasa. Okay, so the jackknife, tip your weight forward on your hands, lift with the right leg, and then you're gonna jump off the left leg, but lightly, and try to kick left heel to butt. And it may help you find more stability there. And give yourself some tries, and then move through your vinyasa. Okay, I would like to move through that one more time, a little bit quicker, just for the heck of it. All right, inhale, lift your right leg. Open your hips, flip your dog. Set your right foot down. Set your butt down, 90-90. Spin right, push outer left knee to the floor as you twist. Exhale, plant your hands. Move through to fallen triangle. Option to lift the leg, option to bind. Option to plant the outer right foot to the floor and lift the hips. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Step the right foot forward or scissor switch. Maybe to find the scissor switch, you try that jackknife kick up. Finding a really stable handstand. And then stepping the right foot forward. Set the left knee down. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, circle your arms around and back. Hamstring curl through the left foot. Maybe this time you bind the foot and then kick into the hands to find the back bend. Deep inhale. Good, and then release that. Whoop. Lean over your right thigh, tuck your back toes, come up for, I don't know what this is called. Inhale, left arm forward. Exhale, find the twist. Pull thumbs to sternum, sternum to thumbs. One breath here. And then on your next exhale, spin yourself open. Warrior 2 to reverse. Inhale. Exhale, circle all the way back around to the twist. Maybe hands come together. Step yourself forward. Kick the left heel to the butt. Sink the knee 3 times if you want. 1, 2, 3. Bind the outer edge of the left foot, come up for the twist. Exhale. Inhale through warrior 3. Bend the left knee, bring it into the belly, slowly sink yourself down, sit inside the left heel. Set the butt down, lift the right leg. Inhale. Exhale. Bend the right knee. Kick into the top of the left foot to bring yourself forward. Weights in the right heel. Swing your left leg around. Pistol squat. Maybe your right heel is lifted a little bit. That's okay here for today. Plant your hands. Send your left leg up and back, standing splits. And then handstand vinyasa or step back, move through your vinyasa. Again, maybe you try those jackknife kicks to help you find some stability as you kick up. Inhale, lift your left leg, open your hips, flip your dog, set your hips down, 90-90, sit up nice and tall, twist left, press outer right knee to the floor as you do. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, transition, fallen triangle, option to bind, Visvamitrasana, or hover the leg, whoop, oh Lord. 3-legged dog, step or scissor switch or jackknife switch, left leg forward. Set the right knee down, inhale, come up for the lunge. Exhale, circle your arms back behind you, bend the right knee, maybe you bind the right ankle, kick into the hands, lift your heart. Release the bind, tuck your right toes, hover your right knee, hover your chest over your thigh. Right arm forward, inhale, exhale, twist left. Inhale, spin yourself up and open, warrior 2. Exhale to deepen. Inhale, reverse. Exhale all the way back through the twist. Come up onto the ball of the right foot. Oh boy. I think we just had an earthquake. I'm kidding, I'm just falling. All right. Flip your weight onto your left heel. Kick your right heel to the butt. You can stay or 3 knee dips. 1, 2, oh boy. 3, bind the outer edge of your right foot. Come all the way up. Twist. Breathe deeply. On your next inhale, release and move to warrior 3. Exhale here. Bend your right knee, pull it into the belly. Slowly sink down. Set your butt inside your right heel. And extend your left leg up. Breathe here. Rebend through the left knee. Press into the top of the right foot. Bring your weight onto your left foot. Lean out over the left foot. Lean a little bit to the left. Do whatever it takes to bring your right foot forward. Maybe you can find the full pistol squat. Breathe. You can have your hands down. You can have your hands on blocks, whatever you need. And then drive into your left heel. Come to standing splits. And then move through your vinyasa. So options, you know what they are. You can press, you can jackknife kick. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, child's pose. So take some breaths in child's pose, or if you were onto something with the kicking, you may, but we're gonna move into inversions. So Breathe deep in whatever you've selected as your resting pose. Breathe all the way down into the pelvic floor. Even your breath out. Honor your beating heart. Honor the work that you've put in already. And know that you could move to Shavasana right now and you'd be fine. So, anything else for this practice is frosting. So we have options for our inversions today. The shape that lends itself most to the work we've done today is a jackknife shape. So with one leg tucked into the body, one knee tucked into the body, the other leg straight. So starting the work, I always like to explore it in headstand first. I find that that helps me orient everything else upside down. So maybe join me for headstand. Maybe you stick with headstand. If headstand's not your comfort zone, you can do forearm balance or handstand. Those are coming next. Clasp the hands, palms about an inch distance apart, elbows shoulder distance. Place the crown of your head on the floor, and the back of your head goes into the crease of your wrists. So it kind of tucks, not into the flat palms, but just tucks into the creases of the wrists. Okay, walk your feet in. Now, bend your left knee and really pull that thigh to the belly, right? And then see if you can use that pull to stack your hips over your shoulders, driving your forearms, and maybe you lift a straight right leg to the ceiling. So it's the right leg starts on the floor and it's the right leg that points to the ceiling at the end. The left knee stays tucked the whole time. So it's kind of like a half pike press, right? With both legs out in front of you, that's more load. With one tucked in, so I'll show second side. With one tucked in, you're asking your low back to lift less load as you straighten that leg towards the ceiling. And maybe it's a little more approachable than a straight pike press to headstand. Okay, so you can continue that work back and forth. It's different than a puppy press. So a puppy press is more, I'll show from the back view. A puppy press is more out to the side, and that lends itself more to a straddle press, right? The jackknife is straight into the midline, and it's more of, it trains more the muscles required for a pike press. Okay, so continue that work in headstand, moving side to side. You can stay there, that's plenty, that's fine. You can also rest, child's pose, all that. Okay, another way that jackknife shape can be helpful is in kicking up to pincha. Now, some people can actually use this to work a press to pincha. That's not in my world yet. And, you know, goals, right? We all have goals. So bring your forearms parallel, elbows under shoulders. Actually, bring them a little bit narrower than your shoulders and then push out with your elbows. So feel yourself kind of lock into the stickiness of your mat. Feel the support of your sticky mat there, okay? And then come up onto your toes and walk yourself forward. Now, gaze between your thumbs and tuck, I'll show left because it's facing the camera, tuck your left knee into your belly. And maybe if you lean far forward enough, maybe you can do that similar press here. Like I said, not in my world yet. So you can also use that jackknife shape to catch the balance when you kick up. And it might help you find it rather than feeling like you're gonna go all the way over. So if that's you, lift one leg. I've got my left one lifted. So it'll be the right knee that tucks into the belly and the left leg stays straight to the ceiling. So a little bit different this time. Gaze towards your thumbs and try to take a very light hop. And that pulling in of that right knee to the belly and the tucking of the right heel, it may help you find that stable balance, you know, instead of feeling like you're like this, you know, it may help you find more engagement. So then you can try second side. So maybe lifting right leg, hopping your left toes in, gaze between your thumbs, and just a little hop and hug the left heel to the butt, trying to find that jackknife shape to lengthen through the low back, active through both feet, and then you can come down. Okay, so that's another option. Then there's continuing the handstand work that we did in the flow. So if you're kicking up It's just like that kick up to the forearm balance, to pincha. Tip the weight into the hands, okay? Come up high onto the right toes. The left leg stays straight. Lift with the left leg. Take a small hop off the right foot and hug the right heel to the butt into the jackknife. And maybe you can float up with a lot more control. Just this extra activation of this knee in, okay? And then you come down as slowly as you can with control. Maybe try switching sides. So again, lifting with the right leg. Plant your hands, tip your weight forward, come up high onto the left toes. Lift with the right leg, little hop with the left, tuck the left heel to the butt. Find it with control. Active through the feet, push through the hands. Hug the left knee to the butt, to the belly. And then come down with control. So you can keep trying that. Final option, working the jackknife press. Okay. So maybe you stack more than one block. Maybe you start on like your couch, you know, whatever height you need to find the float. Okay. And then you step up onto the block with one foot, pull the other knee into the belly. The knee that's into the belly stays there. It's the straight leg that goes all the way up to handstand. Okay. That's the pike press part of it. Okay. So tip your weight forward, push through the shoulders. Come all the way up. Keep hugging the right knee into the belly. Try to come down with control. Don't miss out on that eccentric phase. And then you can try second side. Take a little rest in between. And don't be surprised if the two sides are different. So you may need different levels of support from one side to the other, okay? So pull your left knee into the belly, or, you know, whichever is the opposite of what you just did. Lean forward. And lower with control. So give yourself as many tries as you like. You can also use this as homework. Otherwise, we will move into back bends. So if you're cooked, supported bridge is always on the table. Even just regular bridge can be a nice, like less effort through the arms if your arms are cooked. The shape that lends itself, of course, to today is Ekapada Urdhva or Ekapada bridge pose, whatever bridge pose is in Sanskrit. My brain is fried. So if you're doing it in bridge, clasp the hands behind you, roll your shoulders down towards the floor, push through the arms, lift your hips high, squeeze the glutes. Maybe heel toe your left foot a little more to the midline, drive into your left heel and draw your right knee in. And so this is extra work through the left glute, left hamstring. Maybe you extend the right leg to the ceiling. Keep driving the hips high, pushing down through the arms. Bend through the right knee. You can come down between sides if you're tired, or just go straight to second side. Right foot more to the midline, drive into the right heel, pull the left thigh to the belly. Really lift the hips high, drive down into the arms, lift the left leg. Breathe deeply. Rebend the left knee, set it down, liberate your arms, roll down. Option to repeat that, or to move to supported bridge from here. Or plant your hands, thumbs under shoulders, fingertips can be turned out. Squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you, drive into your heels, lift your hips. Lift your shoulders and your head off the floor and work yourself into wheel pose. So you may be up high on the toes for the first rep, but push into the arms. Try to send the chest further to the front of the mat. Breathe, and then maybe you can walk your feet in a little more. Maybe you walk your left foot to the midline. Push more into the right hand. Lift the right foot off the floor. Pull the right thigh to the belly. Keep pushing into the hands. Maybe you extend the right foot to the ceiling. Gaze at your mat and try to pull your chest through and under by pulling your hands kind of towards the front of your mat. Breathe. Rebend the right knee, bring it down. You can come down between sides or stay up for endurance. Right foot to the midline. Push into the left hand more so you can hover the left foot. Pull the left knee to the belly and then extend the leg to the ceiling. Push down into the hands. Pull the hands to the front of the mat. Look at the mat. Drive into the right heel. Active through the left leg. Set the left foot down. Inhale in a symmetrical wheel. Exhale. Slowly lower down. All right. Roll up to seated. Couple of closing. Let's do some hip stuff. First, let's do a twist. So sit up nice and tall. Right heel across left knee. Left foot towards right butt. Twist to the right, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Sit up nice and tall. Feel the nice stretch on the outer right hip. Take some breaths here. Come back through center. Switch sides. Cross left foot outside of right knee. Sit up nice and tall. Twist left. And don't forget to include your neck and your head and your eyeballs in the twist. So send your eyes to the left corner of their sockets. Breathing deeply. And then come back through center. We're gonna do hip opener. You can feel free to choose whatever you like. For today, I'm gonna choose pigeon. Okay, so start your pigeon in an active way. Bring your hands to the front of your mat. Come up onto the ball of your left foot and work your right shin parallel to the front of your mat. Even if you don't normally practice passive pigeon this way, doing this work may help you get a little deeper into your pigeon. So right shin is parallel to front edge of your mat. Drive into the outer edge of your right foot and just sink your right knee towards the right wrist about 5 times. As you drop the right knee, try to drop the left hip towards the mat as well, kind of corkscrewing your body into more of a pigeon shape. Do that a few times. And then set your left knee down, set your right hip down. So as you set down, your shin may naturally come back to its normal pigeon shape, so it may pull a little more towards your body. That's fine, but notice if maybe you get a little more parallel just using that little entry trick. Press the top of your left foot into the mat. Stay active through your left leg. See if you can balance here. Take ownership of the pigeon with your legs. Take your hands off the floor. Drive the top of your left foot into the floor. Square your left hip to the mat. And then you can forward fold over that leg. Take some deep breaths here. If you feel any discomfort, try the following. Try pointing your right toes instead of flexing the ankle. Or, if the flexed ankle feels better, push the outer edge of the right foot into the floor. See if that balances the forces across your joints better. Or, you can try dragging isometrically, dragging your right shin back towards your left knee. See if that gives you more balance in the pose. Just some little tricks of the trade if you feel any sense of discomfort here. Keep breathing deeply. That's the other trick. Good. And then slowly come up and we'll switch sides. So left shin parallel to the front of your mat. Come up onto the ball of your right foot so that you're kind of in this pigeon lunge, okay? And then press into the outer edge of your left foot and just sink your left knee towards the left wrist about 5 times and see if you can also corkscrew your right hip towards the floor as you lower that left knee. And then set it down, set the top of the right foot down, active through the right leg. Maybe the left shin comes out of parallel, that's fine. And then take ownership. So sit up nice and tall, own the pose with your legs. Take your hands off the floor. What would that take? And then fold over the left shin. And again, the two sides might be different. If you feel any discomfort in the ankle, the knee, or the hip, try those three things I listed before. Either point the foot, the left foot, see if that feels better than flexing it. If flexing it feels better, try driving the outer edge of the left foot into the floor. Or you can try dragging your left shin back towards your right knee. Right leg stays pretty active the whole time. And breathe deeply. Dropping into your Shavasana state of mind. And then slowly walk your hands up and back. Lie down on your mat. You can gather your knees in, give yourself a little hug. And then take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, and then lift your shoulders and your head. Scrunch your face, pull your knees in tight, scrunch your fingers, scrunch your toes, squeeze your whole body into a tight little ball, holding that breath in. And then exhale, let it all out. Extend yourself long on your mat. Tuck your chin, tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, palms face the ceiling, let your feet flop out to the sides. And just allow your breath to shower over you. And feel your body sinking into the floor as though you were laying in warm sand. Feel the deep imprint that your body makes on the earth. Notice if you're holding any emotion or expression in your face. Try to relax your forehead. Let your eyes fully relax. Release your jaw, your cheeks, your throat. Allow your next breath to be a little bit deeper. Start to make small, familiar movements with your fingers and toes. As your breath deepens, perhaps you're motivated to reach your arms overhead and stretch long on your mat like you're just waking up. And as you exhale, gather your knees in and turn to your right side. Press into your left hand. Come up to a comfortable seat. Allow your eyes to be heavy-lidded or closed as you do. Bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Take a deep inhale, lift your heart to the sky. As you exhale, bow your head. Sealing in your practice with a gesture of gratitude for this practice, this body, this breath, this life, and all life. Inhale, blink your eyes open. Namaste.